What if the secret to becoming infinitely rich was to give it all away? What if I told you that generosity is not about giving money, not about donating possessions, not even about self-sacrifice? What if generosity at its core was not about what you give away, but about who you become when you choose to give? Across centuries, philosophers, poets, and sages have praised generosity as one of the highest virtues. Aristotle spoke of it as the mean between wastefulness and greed. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote that the true gift is not measured by its weight, but by the spirit in which it is given. And the Buddha placed dana, the practice of generosity, at the very foundation of spiritual awakening. But here is the paradox. In a world obsessed with self-preservation, self-optimization, and self-promotion, generosity can feel like weakness. People ask, if I keep giving, won't I run out? Won't I be taken advantage of? Won't I be left with nothing? Yet, what if the opposite were true? What if generosity was not depletion, but renewal? Not loss, but strength? Not sacrifice, but the secret alchemy of growth? This is not just moral poetry. Modern neuroscience shows that generosity rewires the brain for joy, calm, and resilience. Acts of giving light up the reward centers of the brain, releasing oxytocin, the hormone of connection. Spiritually, generosity shatters the illusion of separation. Philosophically, it builds the kind of character that can withstand storms. So today, I invite you on a journey, not to learn how to give more, but to discover how generosity transforms you into more. Let us begin with a question. What is generosity? Is it the philanthropist writing million-dollar checks? The saintly monk giving away his robe? Or is it something quieter, hidden in the folds of daily life, like the patience of a mother, the listening of a friend, or the unnoticed smile offered to a stranger? If generosity were merely external, then only the wealthy or the saintly could practice it. But Aristotle warned us that generosity without wisdom becomes wastefulness, and stinginess disguised as prudence becomes greed. So let's go deeper. Generosity, in its essence, is the courage to see beyond the walls of the self. It is the choice to believe that life is not a zero-sum game, but an abundant field where giving enriches both giver and receiver. It is not measured by what leaves your hand, but by what expands your heart. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor. He ruled an empire, and yet in his writings he constantly reminded himself to work for the common good, and to treat even his enemies with dignity. His generosity was not of coins, but of character. And so we must ask ourselves, when was the last time I gave? Not from surplus, not from strategy, but from strength. Now, let us step together into a symbolic meditation. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine. You are standing before a great river. The water is abundant, flowing endlessly from a hidden spring upstream. It does not ask who drinks or how much. It simply flows, without fear of running dry. This river represents generosity, not forced, not strained, not transactional, but natural. The river does not say, if I give, I will have less. It knows its source is infinite. Now imagine yourself stepping into this river. Feel the water flowing around your feet, your legs, your whole body. At first, there is fear. Will I lose myself in this current? But as you surrender, you realize the current is carrying you, not depleting you. Now picture yourself scooping water from the river and offering it to others, friends, family, strangers. Notice something profound. No matter how much you give away, the river does not diminish. In fact, the more you give, the stronger the current feels. Pause here. Feel that shift. This is the truth of generosity. It is not a leaking vessel, but a flowing spring. When you give, not from guilt, not from ego, but from presence, you tap into the river within. You are no longer a reservoir waiting to be drained. You are a channel of abundance. So let us pause here, in this feeling of flow, of renewal. This is the profound, secret alchemy of a generous life. You are not a leaking vessel waiting to be drained. You are a flowing spring connected to an infinite source. Your generosity does not diminish you. It defines you. It expands you. It makes you more. But if this truth is so deep, so real, why then, in our daily lives, does giving so often turn to poison? Into resentment? Into exhaustion? Into bitterness? Because even the purest river can be corrupted. There are hidden traps, whispering lies that turn our generosity from a sacred act into a performance of self-sacrifice. And in our next meditation, we will walk directly into these shadows. We will uncover the traps of giving.